What if I told you there's a place where people routinely live to 90, 100, even 110 years old, without relying on miracle pills or crazy workouts? And what if the secret wasn't just genetics or good luck, but actually what they eat? We're talking about the Okinawan diet, a way of eating so powerful that it's been linked to some of the longest and healthiest lives on Earth. But here's the twist, it's not what most people think. So what happens when a population centers their diet on vegetables, not calories? Let's dig in. Nutrient density and health. Modern dietary guidelines keep saying the same thing: eat nutrient-dense foods. Cut calories. Reduce chronic disease. And guess what? The most nutrient-dense foods on the planet are vegetables. But while most of us push veggies to the side of the plate, one population made them the centerpiece. And the result? They became one of the longest living cultures the world has ever seen. The Okinawan longevity. Okinawa, Japan. For decades, scientists have been captivated by this island. Why? Because its people don't just live longer, they live better. Lower rates of cancer. Barely any heart disease. And mental clarity well into their 90s. Validated longevity studies, even with limited early records, confirm it. Okinawans are global longevity champions. But the real question is, how? Composition of the traditional Okinawan diet. You might picture sushi or grilled fish. But the real traditional Okinawan diet. Over 96% plant-based. Over 90% whole food, plant-based. Less than 1% meat, fish, dairy, or eggs. And get this, sweet potatoes, especially purple and orange varieties, were the main staple. Not rice. Not fish. Sweet potatoes. Tons of greens, soy-based foods like tofu, seaweed, turmeric, and barely any processed food. It's not flashy. But it's powerful. Health impacts of the diet. So what happens when your diet is rich in antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and fiber? You get less free radical damage, healthier cells, and way fewer chronic diseases. And no, it's not genetics. Studies show Okinawans don't have magical antioxidant enzymes. It's their food doing the heavy lifting. They're feeding their bodies exactly what they need to thrive. Disease risk comparisons with the US. Compared to the US, traditional Okinawans had 8 to 12 times fewer deaths from heart disease, 2 to 3 times fewer deaths from colon cancer, 7 times fewer deaths from prostate cancer, 5.5 times lower breast cancer risk. And here's the kicker, they ate around 1,800 calories a day, yet their food had so much volume, they never felt deprived. Plus, their culture taught them not to overeat. Hara Hachibu, eat until you're 80% full. Simple, but genius. Diet versus caloric restriction. You might wonder, is it just the calorie restriction? Maybe. But here's where it gets interesting. Let's look at Seventh-day Adventists in California, many of whom follow a plant-based lifestyle, 98 to 100% meat-free. Non-smokers, regular exercisers. Men living 87 years, women 90. That's 10 to 14 years longer than the general US population. It's not just the quantity of food, it's the quality. Plant-based diets, rich in whole foods, really might be the closest thing we have to a fountain of youth. Decline of Okinawan longevity. But not all good things last forever. Today's Okinawa looks a little different. KFCs on every corner. Tripled, saturated fat intake. High cholesterol, more sodium, and far fewer sweet potatoes. And the results? They've gone from Japan's leanest population to its most overweight. A tragic example of how quickly things can change when a traditional diet meets Western fast food culture. Public health response. But there's hope. Local leaders and public health experts in Okinawa are now pushing for a return to tradition, encouraging people to reclaim their roots and restore the diet that once made them world-renowned for health and longevity. And honestly, maybe we should too. So, what if you didn't need expensive supplements or biohacking gadgets? What if the key to a long, vibrant life was as simple as more sweet potatoes, less meat, and eating until you're just 80% full? The Okinawan diet isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. Start with one plant-based meal a day. Add purple sweet potatoes to your rotation. And remember, your plate could be your most powerful medicine. Like, share, and subscribe if you found this helpful, and drop a comment. Would you try the Okinawan diet? See you in the next video, and until then, stay vibrant, stay curious, and eat plants.